You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. It's primary election day, and the count of mail-in and absentee ballots began as the polls opened this morning in Pennsylvania. Election officials say that because of the counting, it may take a few days before the results of today's election are tabulated. A few early morning glitches were also reported as polling places opened, including some election officials that arrived late and some voting machines not working. If that does happen, you may vote with a provisional ballot. Voters using mail-in ballots who have not mailed them back yet must have them in their county election bureau by 8 p.m. tonight. In Luzerne County, the only drop-box location available today is at the Penn Place building in Wilkes-Barre. A combined 910,488 mail-in and absentee ballots were provided to voters across the state, and so far, about 448,000 have already been returned. Election returns for statewide races will be uploaded to electionreturns.pa.gov. And with that, WYLN's Mackenzie Ocker paid a visit to some Hazleton polling places earlier today to find out how their voter turnout's been.
Voters hit the polls today for the primary election across the state. We stopped by to see how the turnout has been so far for this election.
We're getting a lot of people turning out, coming in early, coming in during lunchtime, coming in probably late on this evening.
It's not bad. We expected it to be a lot better, but I think we've had 125 so far.
Ward 3 saw a slow start as more were expected to come out and vote. It also saw less mail-in ballots this time around, with no returns as of yet.
There's 800 and some in our ward, so it'd be nice to have at least half, maybe after work, after school and after work.
One candidate has been out in the community today for the election and planned to visit more places as the day went on.
We've been covering a lot of areas. We've been down in Schuylkill County. We've been over in Hazel Township, in Hazleton now obviously, in West Hazleton. We're trying to make all our rounds.
Many candidates are going after the 116th legislative seat since Tara Toohill's departure. This makes it the most competitive race so far.
We have 6 people apply, just on the Republican ticket going after Tara Toohill's seat. And we have 1 on the Democrat side.
John Chura would like to thank voters who came out today and those who've supported him along the way.
Thank you for the support for me, and please get out and vote today. It's a beautiful day to come out. It's not raining or anything.
Remember, if you haven't casted your vote yet, you have until 8 p.m. Reporting in Hazleton for WYLN News, I'm Mackenzie Ocker.
Thank you, Mackenzie. A Luzerne County acting manager has been appointed. County Budget and Finance Division head Brian Sweats will serve as acting county manager when Romilda Crocomo leaves that position on Friday. Council voted 8-1 during a special meeting last night to appoint Sweats to fill the position. Council also agreed to pay Sweats an additional $1,000 per week during the time he serves as acting manager. Sweats currently makes $96,337 per year as head of Budget and Finance. He'll hold the position for 3 weeks until full-time county manager Randy Robertson arrives the week of June 13th. The Democrat in the race for PA governor announced he tested positive for COVID-19. Attorney General Josh Shapiro tweeted last night that he tested positive and is experiencing some mild symptoms while isolating at home. The 48-year-old is running unopposed on the Democratic ticket for PA governor in today's primary. Meanwhile, Democratic Senate candidate Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is also off the campaign trail today. He's watching the day unfold as he continues to rest after suffering a stroke on Friday. He has said that his doctors say he's on his way to a full recovery and did not suffer any cognitive damage. A wanted Hazleton man and a Tamaqua woman were taken into custody after a domestic incident involving a gun last week in the city. A man called 911 around 10 Thursday morning to report a man with a rifle and a woman screaming for help near the storage sheds at F&D Storage on South Church Street. 30-year-old Anthony Andrews was eventually found hiding in the front passenger seat of a Ford F-150 after a brief foot pursuit, and told police he went to his storage shed after an argument with 31-year-old Vanessa Zapotsky and grabbed a rifle from inside. She followed him, took the rifle from his hands, and discharged it into the ground when she attempted to unload it. Andrew was wanted for failure to appear in court and had 2 hypodermic syringes in his possession. He faces possession of a firearm with an altered manufacturer or serial number, escape, use or possession of drug paraphernalia, flight to avoid apprehension, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, and defiant trespass. He was jailed after being unable to post $100,000 bail. Zapotsky was also taken into custody and faces possessing a firearm with an altered manufacturer's or serial number, reckless endangerment, and disorderly conduct. She too was jailed after being unable to post $50,000 bail. A Schuylkill County man's wanted for failing to appear in court as ordered 3 times. 43-year-old Daniel David Quinn failed to appear at the courthouse on 3 separate dates for status conference court. Original charges against Quinn include burglary, possession of a firearm prohibited, receiving stolen property, firearms not to be carried without a license, possession with intent to manufacture or deliver a controlled substance, fleeing or attempting to elude police, and possession of a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia. He's described as a 5'9" white male weighing about 210, with a last known address of 2526 Water Street in Mahanoy Plain. Anyone with information on Quinn's whereabouts is asked to call the DA's office or the Schuylkill County tip line. All information received will remain confidential. State police at Frackville are investigating a burglary from earlier this month in Shenandoah. Troopers say someone wearing a Scream mask used a hammer to smash the front door of the A to Z Food Mart at 100 North Main Street in Shenandoah around 1:30 the afternoon of May 4th. It's not known if anything was stolen, but the suspect fled the scene west on West Lloyd Street. This is also the second time this year that the store was hit. A suspect entered the store through the roof of the building and fled with money and other items back on New Year's Day, but there's no word at this time as to whether the 2 incidents are related. Anyone with information should contact the Frackville Barracks at 570-874-5300. A fully loaded manure spreader spilled its contents onto the roadway Friday afternoon in Wayne Township. State police at Schuylkill Haven say that 48-year-old Jeffrey Herring was driving a 2006 Challenger model tractor that was pulling a manure spreader tanker southbound along Moyer Station Road just before 3:30 Friday afternoon. Troopers say the brakes on the tanker trailer failed and forced the tractor and tanker to jackknife, but when Herring attempted to stay on the roadway, he was pushed down a nearly 25-foot embankment and spilled over 600 gallons of manure. Herring was not injured and the tractor sustained minor damages, but the road was closed for 6 hours while the scene was cleaned up. He was then cited for the crash. Coming up on Wyln News, PA was named a national leader in direct-to-consumer sales, plus details on the Great American Blast. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
In the forecast and a little bit of sunny, but we hope it's gonna be more better. So bye, sign off for the weather.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Hi, I'm Mike LaRocca. I'm running for state representative in the 116th district. I've lived in this district my whole life. I've been in business here for over 20 years. Just like you, I'm frustrated with the directions things are going. When elected, I will be the firm voice for seniors, veterans, law enforcement, and all citizens in the 116. I promise to bring as much funding into this district to improve quality of life and lighten the burden of those on fixed incomes. I cannot do this without your vote on May 17th. Send me to Harrisburg. I will not let you down.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, let's talk about some practical tips. We see so many thousands of patients here. Summer tips, traveling tips, how to keep your body healthy. So stay tuned, we'll give you a better summer.
Pennsylvania is now being recognized as a national leader in direct-to-consumer sales. Agriculture Secretary Russell Redding was joined by the USDA National Agriculture Statistics Service and Penn State Extension at Strides Orchard last week in Dauphin County to highlight new survey data that was released in late April, which showed that 6,200 Pennsylvania farms reportedly produce and sell food locally through direct marketing.
And everybody likes local, but at the end of the day, it is about somebody doing local things. It is about growing things local, retail local, consuming local. That is something that takes a lot of work. It is done in a full partnership. It is done with our farm community, of course, but it is a partnership with the consumers in our communities as well.
Direct-to-consumer marketing and sales strengthens local food systems and generated $600 million in revenue back in 2020. Pennsylvania ranks second in the nation for that as well, only behind California.
People want to know who's feeding us, who's feeding me. And you've got these really critical markets like Strites and 6,000 other points across the state of Pennsylvania who are doing that. But it's also part of a reflection in the changes we see in the agricultural industry. Right? Where do you add value? How do you stay on these farms and in this business? It's an economic enterprise. So making sure that we support them. That was part of the initiative that we undertook in the Pennsylvania Farm Bill to make sure that was possible. The USDA and the data collection work that they've done to validate both the importance of direct sales and that piece of the business, but also to help inform the larger policy questions.
When purchasing items with the PA Preferred checkmark, consumers are supporting locally grown and processed PA ag products, directly supporting PA farmers. Strides Orchard recently joined the PA Preferred program and is now one of 745 PA Preferred members across the Commonwealth.
We've been on this farm since 1914 when my great-grandfather planted the first fruit trees. I mean, it's hard to describe the experience that we offer here, but I'm always amazed when you see somebody try one of our strawberries for the first time, and you can tell they've never had a fresh-picked strawberry before because it's just a new eating experience for them. It's a good way to get the public who's so far removed from farm life that they get to actually experience what it's like to pick an apple off of a tree, pick a strawberry straight off of the bush, and it's just a unique experience you can't really get at a store.
To find an on-farm market or farmers market near you, visit Penn State Extension's Farmers Market Finder online. And for more on PA Preferred, visit agriculture.pa.gov. West Nile virus monitoring for 2022 has begun in Schuylkill County. Surveillance started back on May 2nd and ends in early October. Lucky for us, no cases of the virus have yet been detected in the state this year. West Nile virus, which was first detected in PA back in 2000, causes flu-like symptoms, and infection can result in encephalitis, an inflammation of the brain. Symptoms can show 3 to 14 days after being bitten by a mosquito carrying the virus. Last year, 20 positive samples were collected in Schuylkill County, and statewide, 2,307 positive samples were recorded. Residents are urged to remain vigilant if they see standing water and to not let water pool, which can become a mosquito breeding ground. Iron Pigs fans can celebrate Independence Day weekend during their annual event at Coca-Cola Park. The Great American Blast is set for Saturday, July 2nd at 6 p.m. The popular annual event features a variety of food options, family fun, and music, as well as the season's biggest and most spectacular fireworks show, which will be shot for the first time ever from inside of the park shortly after 9. Tickets are now available for just $7, and children 2 and under are free. So be sure to visit their website for all the details. Coming up on Butler Township's News Choice, we talk pedestrians and cyclists on this Trooper Talk Tuesday, plus Leading the Way, Part 2. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on Wyln TV.
Abby is still perfecting her sidekick, and her jab is just for show. But for Abby, this is a remarkable day, because Abby recently defeated a real foe, cancer, when she partnered with Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital, a children's hospital close to home with more than 30 pediatric specialties. Take a bow, Abby. You deserve it. Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital. Your health deserves a partner.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the midday WYLN News update, posted between noon and 2 p.m. Powered by Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, the all-new emergency room at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is nearly double the size. Our updated facility features all private rooms, the latest technology, and a quicker, easier check-in process. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your partner in ER care.
Memberships are available at the Valley Country Club in Sugarloaf. The new upgrades will leave you with a distinctive and unique experience unlike any other venue in Northeast PA. Call Frank Gradis 570-233-5328. Email vccpro@thevalleycountryclub.com.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Welcome to Trooper Talk Tuesday. Joining me is Trooper Anthony Petrosky, Troop in Hazleton. And of course, it's nice weather.
Yes.
We're getting into springtime. People are out and about. So now we have motorcycles and pedestrians. Or not motorcycles, bicycles.
Yes.
Bicycles. We do have motorcycles.
We do, yes.
But we have, today we're going to talk bicycles and pedestrians. Let's start with the pedestrians.
Okay. So in Pennsylvania, it's law that the pedestrian has the right of way in a crosswalk. So, as a licensed driver, we have to pay attention. We can't just think, well, I'm in a car, this person's walking, they have to yield to me. If they're in a crosswalk, we need to yield to them. So we need to know our areas, we need to know where these crosswalks are going to be, and we need to understand that if they're walking, we need to stop and let them go.
And not all of them have the flashing signs.
Correct.
Some of them just have the little guy.
That's it, and then just the white markings on the roadway. So, you know, it's important to note that we have to, as licensed drivers, we have to be aware aware of these, and we have to know that we have to stop. But on the other hand, pedestrians need to know that you cannot just walk out into traffic. We've had many crashes that we've investigated a vehicle struck a pedestrian, and the pedestrian was actually at fault. So you can't just go running out across the street because you think you're going to make it, or walking out when you think there's no cars, but really there are on the road. Pedestrians have responsibility too. You have to go to the crosswalk, you have to wait until no cars are coming, and then you can safely walk across.
Also, one of the things that people are doing now is walking more, and sometimes they are on marked trails, but sometimes they're on roadways. And the side of the road, I've done it on 940, and that's
Right.
very scary.
Sure it is.
So what advice would you have for pedestrians who are going to do something like that?
Yeah, so if you're going to be walking alongside the road where there might not be sidewalks, make sure you're off of the roadway as far as you can be. Make sure you're walking towards traffic so you could see the cars coming at you, opposed to when the traffic is coming up from behind you. You don't want to do that because you can't see, at least if you're walking and there's a car coming towards you. If you think they're veering off the road, you can see it and actually have time to react and move. But when you are walking on the side of the road, move over as far as you can safely away from the road, because some cars go really close to that fog line, and even just their mirror can hit you while you're walking, and that can be detrimental.
That's what I was going to say, because I've, like I said, I've walked 940 sometimes, and those trucks come by and the mirrors are way out to here.
Right. And if you are going to be walking early in the morning, wear something reflective. Put something that lights up on you. This way you're able to be seen. It's important. And also, like drivers, we need to pay attention to these walkers too. If they're on the side of the road, if they're close, if we can, we move over, give them a little bit more buffer zone.
All right, let's go on to bicycles now.
Yes.
Because that's a whole other issue.
It is. And if a bicycle is on the roadway, a driver approaching that bicycle is required by law to give them 4 feet. Move your vehicle over 4 feet away from them to allow them a proper safety area.
So what if you can't? 2-lane road, bicyclist right here,
Right.
and vehicles coming this way?
If you can't, then you're going to have to stay behind that bicyclist until it is clear to be able to go around them, to give them that 4 feet when there's no cars coming in the oncoming lane.
Oh, so you actually have to back off and hope,
until it's safe to go around them. Yes.
and hope the people behind you don't decide that they want to pass you.
Correct.
Because that can also be another problem.
That can be a big problem for everybody.
And when we're talking bicycles, again, you think there are more adults who are on bikes now. Helmet law?
Helmet law. There is a helmet law. I believe it's under 12 years old are required to wear a helmet on the roadway. Other than that, it's up to the rider.
So once again,
but it's all about being safe. Do we recommend it? Yes, especially if you're going to be on the road, if you're going to be close to other vehicles on the road. A helmet can only help you.
And also, talking about bicycles, they should be in good operating order.
Correct. And, unless you're just riding in your driveway or taking it to a park, if you're going to be out on the roadway, make sure that it's working good, because if you're sharing the road with vehicles, you want to make sure that your bike is in good operating condition.
And if you're on the trail, pass on the left.
Yeah, there you go.
And it would be nice if when you are passing, you say, passing on the left, so that the walkers are able to go, ooh, and get out of the way.
But another tip for bicyclists, again, if you're riding early in the morning or late at night, put something reflective on, put something that lights up. There are these little keychains that light up, and you could hook them on, your bike or yourself, and this way you could be seen by other vehicles.
Well, it's just like any other operating vehicle. You should be seen as well as be able to see.
Correct, 100%.
All right. Trooper Anthony Petrosky, Troop in Hazelton, always here with great advice on Trooper Talk Tuesday.
Penn State Hazelton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
See news happening in your neighborhood? Call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network. SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Amy Yannick's leading the way into part 2 of this week's series.
Welcome to part 2 of Leading the Way with Amy Yannick, and we learned a lot about Amy yesterday, including that she would like to be a mermaid, or at least a marine biologist. So you did tell us, though, that through auto accidents and change in life and moving and so many different things, you became a teacher, but you also mentioned organ donations. How does that factor into all of this?
I never realized exactly where to put that until I started teaching anatomy. So when I started teaching anatomy, of course, when you're talking about organs in the first unit, let's talk about organ donation. So I started talking about it.
So which came first, organ donation or
well, organ
teaching?
donation. I was an organ donor since I've been 16, and then when my father received his heart transplant, I was like, everyone in my family had to be an organ donor. I said, you know how important this is. You know.
And you mentioned the fact that you're teaching what?
Anatomy and physiology.
How did you get into that from maybe thinking about becoming a marine biologist?
Well, I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in biology, and I was a nurse's aide for several years. So I have a little bit of a medical background, plus my father and my mother were very sick. So I do have that interest. So when the course became available, the teacher retired, it was offered to me, and I said absolutely.
And you're at Hazleton Area High School. Mm-hmm. And when we come back tomorrow, we're going to find out how you got there and what happened in between when we have tomorrow Amy Part 3 on Leading the Way.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.